And greetings, everyone. This is Terry Naturally with another edition of Terry Talks Nutrition. We're here every weekend, same time, same station. You can't miss us. You're here with us now, so you know where we are. But pass this on along to your friends, relatives, anyone who you think might like to learn how to have better health. Over time, of course, changes are necessary. If you're in the rut of eating the American diet, the typical foods that are on the American diet, little or no exercise, a bad night of sleep, just the things that wreck our body. We can do good things like, hey, if you've got a good car and you want to take care of it, you do the good things to it. You do the things that are necessary to maintain a good functioning car. It's the same thing with the body. We have the responsibility, the obligation, and the rights to treat our body well. And we will receive the rewards of the maintenance of our body. Over time, we can live without pain or arthritis and even prevent cancer, all by making the right changes. These diseases that we have today are not something out of the universe. And all of a sudden, we've got a disease, and now we have to see the doctor. And now the doctor is going to put us on all kinds of prescriptions. We can forestall that for decades, maybe all our entire life. I have not taken a drug in 60 years. We don't have to. There's other ways of doing it. And when it comes right down to it, food. That means what we eat every day is our best medicine. But people are choosing food that are not nutritious, do not contain all the vitamins and minerals, and lacks the nutrients that maintains a healthy structure of our body. That's all what it comes down to. We have the right and obligation, and we now may know that it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves and our family. It's not too difficult. It's not hard to choose healthier foods and get a good night's sleep and exercise. Just 10 minutes a day of exercise has been shown to improve the health of the body. You don't have to spend hours. You don't have to drive down to the gym. All those things that take up more of your time. Make a plan to do 10 minutes of exercise in your own environment, at home. Walk down the street. There are many things you can do to be healthy. And as I always say, our body is very forgiving. All it needs is a chance. Get rid of that fast food, that garbage, and really start planning a good, nutritious diet for you and your family. We can get back to a healthier lifestyle. And that's about what it is. 98% of all diseases are caused by our choices, our lifestyle choices, not by something we don't have control over. Disease is not a foreign substance or unknown that all of a sudden it strikes us. Yeah, there's always going to be viruses, bacteria, and fungal infections, all kinds of things that may attack us. But we can stay well and healthy, even in the midst of the attack, by maintaining a very healthy immune system. We can do all kinds of things to make our body healthy. Like we would make our car more valuable by taking better care of our car. Let's take better care of our body. So today we'll talk about some things we can do that can make a tremendous change in your life. I'm going to tell you about how to have a fast relief for pain. Not drugs. Not something that's going to harm your liver and kidneys. Not something that's going to shorten your life, cause all kinds of other diseases. And then we'll talk about new studies on the adverse effects of artificial sweeteners. They're not good for us. Sugar is bad, but artificial sweeteners is a lot more bad for us. And then I'm going to show you, I love olive oil, and you'll hear me talk about all the time. It's the most powerful food known to man and woman and everybody else. So let's review some of the health benefits of olive oil, just to make sure you know some things, because it's amazing food. As experts say, it's the most powerful food to maintain a healthy life. And then we'll talk about another update on the fake natural products. There are so many counterfeits out there, so many adulterated ingredients, all because money gets in the way of people doing the right thing. They want to make money now. They don't want to wait and do something right and moral and ethical. They want to take the easy way out. Boy, there's so much lying out there on ingredients. Boy, you better learn where to shop and how to shop and at what brand you should shop for. And we'll talk about how saffron, the most expensive spice in the world, is now being adulterated. And it's finally spring. Well, sometimes it feels that way. Some days are not so spring-like. So now it's time to worry about a few things like ticks. What can you do about ticks? And there is a big connection between blood sugar and dementia. We'll talk about that again. The quality of life when undergoing cancer treatment. Your quality of life is not up to par. It can't be. Not when you are prescribed very harsh, fatal, yes, some of these drugs kill. They kill the patient before the cancer does. But that's all they have. It's somewhat barbaric. When natural products have shown that they can be as effective as chemo drugs and without side effects. And if you're afraid, if you're on chemo drugs and your doctor says you got to take these, and you say, yes, I will. But you can also take the natural alternatives, like French grapeseed extract, curcumin, antigraphis, berberine, melatonin. These are all natural substances that have been shown in clinical studies that they're more effective than the drugs. And if you are taking the drugs, there's no complications, there's no counterindications, and they make the drug much, much more effective at a lower dose, and no side effects, or less side effects. And it makes it much more effective. Now, if you want a healthier liver, simple, get more sleep. Some of these natural principles that we just take for granted, never even think they are natural alternatives to our health, but they are. So we're going to talk about natural pain relief. One of the most effective that I've ever seen is curcumin. Curcumin from turmeric absolutely relieves pain. Now, there's a big difference in curcumin and turmeric. Turmeric is the plant, and it has the root, more technically known as the rhizome, but it looks like the root to me and you. Now, in that root, there's a compound called curcumin, and there's 3 forms of curcumin that are extracted from the root and concentrated up to a purity of 95%, and that is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times stronger than turmeric. And I feel so sorry for the people that are taking turmeric and use black pepper. There's articles all the time in ladies' magazines or men's journal or someplace, and they're talking about turmeric. Turmeric does this and that. Well, all that turmeric stuff is actually done with curcumin. There's almost 25,000 studies done in the last 10 years on curcumin. Far, far less studies on turmeric. And then they say, mix it with black pepper. Black pepper does nothing to help improve turmeric. Now, there's an ingredient in black pepper called piperine. And it's the piperine, not the black pepper. So I had a woman tell me one time, she says, I take a teaspoon of turmeric and I sprinkle black pepper on it. And I said, oh, good Lord. Black pepper does nothing. Some journalists that don't understand chemistry or don't understand the science and don't even do any of their homework to find out the difference between curcumin and turmeric, they just say turmeric and use black pepper. Now, piperine, which is extracted from black pepper, does increase the absorption. I don't deny that. But it works by permeating your intestinal tract and almost like it making your intestinal tract like a screen door. Yes, now the turmeric can go right straight through. Like mosquitoes come through your screen door. But everything then in your intestinal tract can also come through that screen door, otherwise known as your intestinal tract, which now has leaky gut syndrome. Because the black pepper or the piperine stimulates an area of your intestinal tract to allow anything to enter the bloodstream via the screen door, your intestinal tract. That means allergens, toxins, poisons, anything. Would you want anything that's in your intestinal tract to be in your bloodstream? Yuck! I would not want that. But that's how piperine works. It irritates and causes leaky gut of the intestinal tract. So it gets a lot more in, but a lot more of everything else as well. But if you use curcumin, especially a form of curcumin with turmeric essential oils, now that's altogether different. The oil of the plant is entirely different than curcumin or turmeric. And when they blend curcumin with turmeric essential oils, the oils have been shown in clinical studies, over 90 clinical studies, that it increases the absorption by 700%. And it reduces the intensity of muscle pain, reduces muscle damage, and has a very effective anti-inflammatory function. Reduces inflammation. But you know what? you don't want to always reduce the inflammation. Inflammation comes to a site in your body where there's damage. If you sprain your ankle, twist your knee, you have damage. And you're going to have heat, redness, soreness, pain, all at the site of the damage. And you may do a few things like anti-inflammatories. Some may choose a drug. Some may choose curcumin, which is far, far better and no side effects. And in a week or two, your knee or your joint, your ankle are repaired. They're back to normal. Because you did something to the knee or the ankle to display damage. So the inflammation only comes to an area of damage. It doesn't cause the damage. Inflammation is not bad for us. It's a normal, natural healing process of a damaged area. But unfortunately, because of the American diet, which is an inflammatory diet, many different kinds of vegetables cause inflammation. Yes, like the nightshade family, eggplant, tomatoes, pepper, they cause damage. So we are chronically damaging our body with the diet, also because of an intense level of carbohydrates, sugar, and vegetable oils. A very high level of omega-6 fatty acid supplied by the vegetable oils causes inflammation. So the diet we are eating, if you are eating the American diet, or even worse, the fast food diet, or the junk diet, or who knows what you're eating diet, are causing inflammation in your body all the time. So you're going to have inflammation all the time. If you want to get rid of inflammation, just stop what you're doing that makes it necessary for the body to direct an anti-inflammatory effect on your body. Does that all make sense? And now we have clinical trials, and the results of those clinical trials on curcumin reduces muscle pain, increases athletic performance, sports performance, speeds recovery after exercise, reduces exercise-induced inflammation. If you over-exercise, you're going to create inflammation because you are doing more damage to your body. You work out for a half hour and you feel fantastic. Quit. That's as far as you need to go. But some people say, well, I want to get bigger. I want to get more muscle. I want to do this or that. You're delaying that process. And some people say, well, I'm not getting big fast enough. I'm going to work out more. The less you work out, the better. The less exercise, the better. Now, I don't mean don't do anything. You got to do some things. But don't do too much. Don't go out there and do a marathon when you don't do a marathon any time in the year, except when the marathons are now in that city where you are. Don't just join the crowd in a marathon and think you're doing something good. There's more harm, especially upper respiratory tract inflammation, in sports and marathons and over-exercising, because you are compromising the immune system. And then inflammation sets up in the lungs, the bronchioles, the sinuses. You're causing damage. Anything that causes damage in your body requires inflammation to be there to repair it. And we, as I should say what? Sometimes we just don't know what we're doing. So maybe we exercise too much. Maybe we exercise every day. There are some people that can do that. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can be a great quarterback. There's only a few that can be a great quarterback. They're far and few between. So we can't be what other people are. So we have to take the moderate road. Some exercise, the best diet. You can't overdo the best diet. You need 8 to 9 hours of sleep. And there are things that we can do to be healthy. So here is my suggestion for fast pain relief. Fast pain relief, yes, in a day or two. But not in all chronic conditions. If you've had arthritis for 10 years or 20 years or 30 years, you're not going to get fast pain relief. It might take you 3 to 6 months, but you will get results. Now, this is fast pain relief from a combination of curcumin, boswellia, that are blended with black sesame seed oil. And why the black sesame seed oil? That's the most common oil used in India, the black sesame seed oil. And when you blend curcumin and boswellia with black sesame seed oil, you're making a dough. It's just not a blend. It's actually mixed like a putty or a dough. And then that can be put into soft gel capsules for the relief of pain. Healthy adults with acute muscle pain. This is a study in which they took an herbal pain blend or an OTC pain drug once a day in the morning for 7 days. Now, this proprietary herbal blend, this pain blend, curcumin, boswellia, in black sesame seed oil, 1,000 milligrams, that's 2 soft gel capsules. And the other drug, I shouldn't say another drug, but the other substance that was used in the study was acetaminophen, an OTC pain drug, acetaminophen. The name for that drug is Tylenol. 1,000 milligrams, 2 tablets. So one portion of the group took 2 soft gels of the combination herbal blend of curcumin, boswellia, and black sesame seed oil. And the other half of the people in the study took the pain drug, acetaminophen, Tylenol. Now, at the end of the study, both groups, the herbal pain group, the Tylenol group, had equally effective pain relief. Equally effective. The herbal pain blend, however, was 8 times better in reducing the unpleasantness of the pain and the emotional aspect of acute pain. And why do I suggest, what about emotional aspect of acute pain? Well, anybody that has acute pain is not happy. And if you happen to bump into somebody in a grocery store or someplace, or they bite your head off, or they cut you off with their car, they're not healthy. It comes down to they're not healthy. And they have a lot of emotional complications. And pain does that to people. Tylenol does not relieve emotional pain. They do of the acute pain, muscle pain, arthritis pain, but not the emotional aspect. Where the herbal combination, curcumin and boswellia in black sesame seed oil, was able to reduce the emotional aspects of acute pain. So the results were detected on the very, very first dose, as soon as 1 hour after taking the curcumin, boswellia, and the black sesame seed oil combination. In 1 hour, they had pain relief. No side effects. No adverse effects. But now, not just for muscle pain. In rheumatoid arthritis patients, curcumin reduced pain and swelling more effectively than the prescription drug, Celebrex. 14% of patients in the drug group dropped out because of adverse effects. They could not tolerate the drug, while 0 participants in the curcumin group dropped out. Nobody dropped out. But in the drug group, 14% of the patients dropped out. They could not tolerate the side effects of the drug. In a study of curcumin versus ibuprofen in arthritis patients, curcumin group had less pain and better ability to walk upstairs and walk a distance than those that were given the ibuprofen group without adverse effects. Curcumin does not have side effects or adverse effects. Curcumin and boswellia relieved arthritis pain more effectively than the prescription drugs NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. 14% of patients were pain-free after 3 months versus 7% of the drug group without adverse effects. So if you're looking for pain relief, and I've got to take a break, I'm going to the bottom of the hour, so we'll have some commercials coming up, I believe. So I want to remind you, I'm Terry Naturally, and this is Terry Talks Nutrition. Back right after this. And welcome back, my friends. This is Terry Naturally, and you're listening to Terry Talks Nutrition. We're here every week, same time, same station. Weekends, I should say. We're here same time, same station on the weekend. Join us. We can bring you more interesting and more effective alternative methods than drugs. If your doctor puts you on a drug, I'm not one to say go off your drug. Talk to your doctor. And if you are on drugs, what I'm telling you is okay to use together. Curcumin and boswellia with black sesame seed oil are very, very free of side effects. No adverse effects. They are very well tolerated, and they are not counterindicated with any other medication. And curcumin is not a blood thinner. So many people ask me, I'm taking curcumin. The doctor said it's a blood thinner. It is not. It is not. It is not a blood thinner. It can reduce blood clots, and it can prevent blood clots because it does it by a different mechanism of action, but it's not in the blood. There's nothing natural that can thin the blood. It is called that it can reduce platelet aggregation. When red blood cells get sticky, they stick together. They don't slide through the arteries. They get really sticky and clumpy. And then they start sticking together, forming a clot or a clump. I would advise your doctor you're taking curcumin. I think it's always wise to tell your physician that you're taking something. And you can discuss it and decide whether you want to continue or not. And you can go to my website, terrytalksnutrition.com. Tons of information there for you. All kinds of information. So you can listen to the radio show anytime around the world, anywhere you are. You just need a computer and change your time to be on the same time we are in the Central Standard Time, and you can listen live anywhere around the world. Or go into the archive section of the radio show and pull up any radio show you want, anytime you want, at your convenience. Take it with you wherever you go, and you can download it and enjoy it anywhere and everywhere. And you can subscribe to my newsletter that goes out every Friday to your email address. And you can stay in tune with us wherever you are. But now we talked about curcumin, boswellia, in black sesame seed oil. It is fast-acting pain relief. Fast, fast, fast. 1,000 milligrams, that's 2 soft gel capsules of this blend once or twice daily or more. Depends on you and what degree of pain you have. And there are no side effects. No kidney damage, no liver damage, no stomach damage, no damage. No significant adverse effects. You don't have to deal with pain. Now's the time to make changes. And even with food, you can intensify your pain if you eat the wrong food, like the nightshade family. Eat a lot of tomatoes, and that's a lot of acid that can influence the pain in your joints. If you have arthritis, don't eat tomatoes. Don't eat tomato sauce. So now we have new studies on the damage and the adverse effects of artificial sweeteners. Artificial. Diet soda and the condition of abdominal fat. Here's a study that was done by a group of researchers in which they collected data from over 3,000 men and women who are young adults when the study began in 1985. Over the years, these subjects provided detailed information on their nutritional intake and their health. During their 25-year in the study, the 25th year of that study, participants received CAT scans to measure their abdominal fat levels. And the results of this test, after controlling for other nutritional intake, the subjects with the highest levels of diet soda intake, like 5 or more cans a day, had visceral fat 10% higher than participants who consumed little or no diet soda. Now that visceral fat, that's when you see the pot belly, the apple belly, the pear-shaped, the apple-shaped men and women, or the bread belly. And that fat that's within all throughout your abdominal cavity, your liver and other organs, is the most dangerous type of fat. Now here, just on women with high levels of visceral fat, belly fat. So many women ask me, how do I get rid of my belly fat? Change your diet. Adopt the ketogenic diet, and you'll get rid of your belly fat. And include some exercise. Diet and exercise can do more for you than drugs. Now, women with a very high level of visceral fat, the belly fat, are 7 times higher to have diabetes. The increased risk for diabetes is much, much higher, 7 times higher. 20% greater risk of having a heart attack. You wonder why women today now have a heart attack? Very rarely before, it was primarily men. Now women is catching up because of all the belly fat. 37% more likely to develop asthma. And almost twice as likely to develop invasive breast cancer, even if they're slim, even if the total BMI is normal. So artificial sweetener damages the gut. And in our gut is about 4 to 6 pounds of probiotics, the friendly bacteria. The friendly bacteria have an effect on almost every function in our body and almost directly to our brain. A recent published study looked at the effects of a derivative of aspartame, neotame. It's a derivative of aspartame. Neotame is 8,000 times sweeter than sugar. In a laboratory setting, when normal, friendly, healthy gut bacteria were exposed to neotame, they started acting in very harmful ways instead of sticking to the cells of the gut and sometimes causing cell death. Harmful to the gut. Artificial sweeteners. And in your body, this could actually lead to inflammation. That's why I tell you, inflammation is only there when there's damage. So when this neo aspartame and the neotame are causing damage in the gut, we have inflammation. Only when there is damage. Firemen don't go to a house if there is not a fire. They are putting out the fire if there is a fire. Inflammation is there when there is a fire. So when you have a flamed, damaged area in the body, there's going to be inflammation there. So you can't say get rid of the inflammation. You need it if you need it. You get that? And by the way, this is not new information. A 2018 study on the same sweetener found that it significantly changed the microflora in the intestines. This is an animal model, reducing the diversity of the beneficial bacteria. You know, the FDA, better not say it. Neotame was approved by the FDA for use in 2002. Money speaks. And now can be found in many types of processed foods, including baked desserts, cakes, cookies, soft drinks, candy. Get rid of the artificial sweeteners. I've seen people open up 3 or 4 packets of artificial sweeteners in their coffee or tea. It is absolutely nonsense. How about a little bit of honey? Well, let's review the health benefits of olive oil. One of my favorite topics. I wrote a book on olive oil because I have such a passion for it. If you haven't read my book on olive oil, you can go to my website, terrytalksnutrition.com, go to Amazon, you can order my book. Just look for books by Terry Lemerond, Lemerond. Yeah, I'm Terry naturally, but my proper name is Terry Lemerond. And you can find the books that I have authored or co-authored with a number of other scientists. But olive oil is such a special food. I call it a medicine because it gives you all the benefits of natural medicines. And you can now live a longer and healthier life with olive oil. Health and diet data was collected from over 90,000 men and women for almost 30 years. All the subjects, the participants of this study, were healthy and free of heart disease and cancer at the start of the study. Now, at the end of the study, the subjects with the highest daily intake of olive oil, had a 20% reduction in death from heart disease, a 17% reduction in death from cancer, a 30% reduction in the risk of death from Alzheimer's disease or any other brain disease or dementia, 18% reduction in risk of death from respiratory disease. It doesn't take much. Olive oil per day. I do a shot glass or a shot glass and a half every morning. It does miracles for you. All you need is about 20 grams at a minimum. That's about 5 teaspoons, a little bit big, a little bit more than a tablespoon. But most of those experts that research olive oil like to suggest at least 2 tablespoons a day. That's easy to do. Just measure out 2 tablespoons of olive oil every morning and get on your way. And replace margarine. Some people are still eating that plastic junk. And you'll do much better by replacing that level of margarine with olive oil. Now get this one. If you get 2 tablespoons of olive oil a day, it was associated with up to 34% reduction in risk of death from any condition. 34% reduction. You're on your way to a new life, a new lease on life with olive oil. There's nothing better. I love olive oil so much, I wrote a book on it. I mentioned it earlier in my passion for olive oil. But if you go to my website, terrytalksnutrition.com, click on Health Books for the link to buy it, or search on Amazon under my proper name, Terry Lemerond, or the title of the book, Unlock the Therapeutic Secrets of Olive Oil. That's the name of the book. Unlock the Therapeutic Secrets of Olive Oil. Now, there are a lot of natural medicines out there but I guess the bottom line is buy quality. Make sure you know who you buy from. Buy a trusted brand. Don't buy just because the price is cheaper. There's a reason why prices are cheaper. They're either spiked or adulterated, or they're counterfeit. There are more products being counterfeited of natural brands sold on Amazon. So here's another update on fake natural products, especially saffron. Saffron is expensive. Very expensive. It's the most expensive spice in the world. but for a reason. It's been called the most expensive spice in the world, sometimes called red gold, because it costs so much, up to $10,000 a pound. It takes almost 90,000 flowers to yield a pound of saffron. Poor weather in the areas where saffron is cultivated can limit supplies and drive the prices even further up. They're only using the little stigmas of the flower, not the entire flower. There's just 2 or 3 little stigmas that they pick out of the flower. These are called threads. There have been studies on saffron spices called threads. These little threads, there's like 3 of them, or powdered, purchased on the open market, and found 30 to 50% of very poor quality saffron or outright fakes. Usually they're using corn silk that has been dyed red, or a little saffron diluted with turmeric or beets for the color. It's very important to obtain saffron products from reputable companies that don't cheat. There's no reason to cheat, because all these products are being sold to potentially increase and make you a better life, make you have a better health. If the price seems to be too good to be true, more than likely it is. Well, it's spring again. About time. Spring has sprung. Hopefully it lasts. But it's time to worry about ticks again. Ticks are very active again. Warmer weather in the northern states means ticks are active again, and local residents here in Wisconsin have been fighting ticks on themselves and their pets since mid-April. And ticks can carry as many as 9 different pathogens, either bacterial or viral, and they can pass this on to humans and other animals, including Lyme disease. Lyme disease is becoming much more common. In fact, in Wisconsin, the average number of cases has more than doubled over the last 15 years. Lyme disease symptoms include fatigue, muscle pain, joint pain, headaches, fever, chills, and stiffness of the neck. If you find a tick, get it off as soon as possible. A tick needs to be attached for about 24 hours before it can affect a person with Lyme disease. So if you've been outside, anywhere, in fields, trails, hiking, whatever, check yourself over right away when you get back from your walk or hike. It needs 24 hours before it can affect you. Immediate treatment with antibiotics is helpful for most people. And you can use natural antibiotics like propolis, antigraphis. However, up to 36% of people who are treated for Lyme disease will still have at least one symptom that is long-lasting, such as fatigue, muscle and joint pain, and neurological problems, months, and even years later, referred to as chronic Lyme disease. For those who are dealing with chronic Lyme disease, I would suggest that you listen to the webinar. The subject of the webinar was the diagnosis and treatment of Lyme disease And you can listen to this webinar on the Terry Talks Nutrition YouTube channel. Yep, I have a YouTube channel for a variety of webinars and podcasts. Go to that area and you can listen to them. They're very popular. In fact, I'm scheduled for next week to do a half dozen more podcasts. And you can listen on Terry Talks Nutrition YouTube channel. This webinar was conducted by Dr. Nathan and Dr. Teitelbaum. Both are experts in treating chronic Lyme disease. Now, what you may want to consider: glutathione, Glutathione, glutathione. Chronic infection depletes glutathione, which is critical for immune system function. Alterations in clinical and cellular glutathione levels have been found even years after the initial infection. Antigraphis is very powerful anti-inflammatory, antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, all the things you need for such a condition as Lyme disease. It's very common recommendation for treating Lyme disease of its known and antibacterial, anti-inflammatory effects. And propolis. Propolis is known as a multi-antimicrobial, so it can affect every known pathogen, whether it be bacterial, viral, or fungal. Very powerful natural antibiotic, and it does not kill off your probiotics, does not kill off the friendly bacteria. It'll help protect your normal friendly bacteria in the gut. So you can use these without any fear of side effects or counterindications. So there's 3 top substances to keep in mind: glutathione, antigraphis, and propolis. Now, there's a huge connection between blood sugar and dementia. The link between diet, diabetes, and Alzheimer's disease. The brain is about 2% of our body weight, but it uses 20% of the body's glucose intake for energy. But high blood sugar levels are linked to Alzheimer's disease. Almost 80% of people with Alzheimer's disease also have type 2 diabetes. And some people refer to Alzheimer's disease as type 3 diabetes because there's such a huge connection between high levels of sugar and brain disease. The connection between high blood sugar and Alzheimer's disease is so strong. As I said, experts call Alzheimer's disease type 3 diabetes, or diabetes of the brain, the sugar connection. In fact, research has shown that people with Alzheimer's disease don't break down sugar efficiently enough in their brains. Brain cells become unable to respond to insulin, and this leads to inflammation, oxidative stress, and a buildup of plaque in the brain, the foundation of Alzheimer's disease. I'm going to cover this more in another program coming up. It's such an important fact for you to know, and I'm running out of time. Type 3 diabetes is Alzheimer's disease. So say a prayer for this crazy, crazy world. God bless you, my friends, and God bless this great country.
Thank you for listening to Terry Talks Nutrition Weekly Show. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform, including Apple, Google, and iHeartRadio.